All right, Eric, thank you for joining me today on Pop Culture Unplugged. It's an honor to have you on.
Oh, thanks. Great to be here.
Exciting times, my friend. You have on-call Prime Video January 9th, but I like how, not only you're in it, you're behind the scenes also. So you're busy all over the place with this series.
Yeah, this one is my trifecta. I get to direct, exec produce, and acting in it. I loved all three of them, and it's great to see it all come together, and just being able to do something that when you love it. I love directing, I love acting, I love producing. So to be able to do all of them on a project that I love the writing on the show and the style and the originality. So this was a good one to have that trifecta on.
Mm. How did you balance, being in front of the camera and then be behind the camera on the same project?
I when I started out years ago, I knew that I wanted to direct. I used to do short films, and
Right.
so, back then I was jumping in everything I did. The very first film that I did for HBO, called Rebound, I directed it and I acted in it. This is the first time I get to exec produce and all three, but I've done the acting directing thing, quite a not quite a bit, but a decent amount. And so at every opportunity I got, if I was sometimes doing a show, one time I wrote, directed, and acted in um a cool episode of The Twilight Zone. And I've been trying it. But I do feel like it all led me to this. Those were
Yeah.
some great opportunities, but this was the one that by the time this opportunity presented itself, it was something that I was really, really ready for.
As a director, how did you approach the whole? Because I watched the first two episodes with the handheld cameras, the body cameras, the dash cams. How did for you? Did it make it difficult? Did you find it easy?
It was challenging, just simply finding the balance, just simply
Mm.
finding it wasn't challenging to shoot it that way, but
Okay.
it was challenging to find what's the most organic, um what are the most organic ingredients, like
Right.
how much salt, how much sugar, how much hot sauce, how much, so you never know. Oh, that's too much hot sauce. It's now I've ruined it. So the challenge was really like the alchemy of it all. It was
Mm.
really how do you build it just right. And so once we really got comfortable with that, and really started seeing how the show was working. Well, in the emotional moments, this is what we want. In the action sequence, this is what we want. Sometimes, how does the combination work? So and even still, there's still more to explore there, which I love because you don't want to feel like, okay, we did everything we could, and that's the. So there's still a lot more to explore. There's some great challenges to be made, and so yeah, I'm excited about it.
Speaking of challenges, was there a challenge for you with this role as a Sergeant Lasman?
Yeah, I think that, you know, playing this kind of character, the cool thing is he's not who you think he is. I'm sorry, he's not who you think, he is. And from some of the character's point of view, that's
Yeah.
the cool thing. I think that the Troian character thinks he's one way, or thinks she knows who he is. He kind of thinks he knows who she is. And so they have this very complicated relationship based on misinformation. And I've never played a character that became so defined by misinformation and assumption, as well as doing the same to someone else. And it's not until you get towards the end of the series that the revelation of who these people really are, and now where will that lead them? And those are just some really interesting questions.
And one thing I noticed too, he's like kind of like the leader in a way also. Did you find did you enjoy being like the leader of this group?
Well, it was, obviously, look, it was natural casting because, as the director,
Yeah.
uh, you're playing the leader, as the person who's directing the pilot. you're the leader there, and it was natural. And so just to have different sides of him and to show different pieces of him. But yeah, first and foremost, he has to be a leader. He has to be that, and I have to be that in real life as the director and producer. And it really worked, and because a lot of trust had been established. So by the time I put on my uniform and started acting, um, it was
Yeah.
it was easy to accept me as that.
Yeah. This has a wonderful cast. Was there a specific cast member that you enjoyed having scenes with that you looked forward to, like when you were jumping on set?
Well, I think that I was very, very fortunate to have some of my bigger stuff with Troian,
Okay.
because I hadn't acted in a while, and I felt I was rusty, and being able to lean on her really helped me find my rhythm quicker, because you're directing, you're producing, you're doing all there's a gazillion things
Yeah.
going on. But I felt when I put the uniform on and I came out, and then you realize, well, I haven't used this muscle in a while. You know what I mean? And maybe others can't necessarily tell, but you as an artist, what you're capable of. You know what notes you're capable of hitting. Now, you might hit some really nice notes, but you also know, wow, I can hit higher. You know that, wow, I'm doing some great two pointers, making some great two pointers, but I'm a 3-point shooter, and so you can play a great game, have a high scoring game, just hitting twos. But when you have this thing where you feel like I can make some threes, and so being able to work with Troian, she helped me to find that range a lot faster than I think maybe I would have had with a lesser actress. I was also very, very proud of I'm proud of the actors, and it's Brandon. Just he's a find, he's a gem, and I had some nice moments with him. And even when my character is the leader or the father figure to his character,
Yeah.
there was still some cool things I was learning from him. And last, I really was proud of Lori. I thought Lori came in and no makeup, basically, like she just went so against her image and her type, and she had fun playing this edgy, more edgy character than she's ever been able to play. So yeah, we had fun. The cast was great.
How did you guys strike like the balance between like, the entertainment part of the series plus also like the real world issues with like policing and what we see?
Well, first off, all the calls that are in the show are real calls.
Oh wow.
Those are calls that came from the technical advisors. Those are calls that they interviewed a lot of cops. So they just incorporated those in. So they all come from this real place. And that's through the whole series. So,
Mm.
we all did ride-alongs, and when I did my ride-along, and it was probably a 10-hour shift, I went on, I think, 11 calls.
Wow.
And everything from the cop that I was with saved a toddler who had escaped and was, out and about in the world in a diaper, and to some more serious stuff that happened. So that was just one shift,
Mm.
1 day.
Yeah.
So the plethora of stories that's available. So as far as that balance goes, the balance, well, it's coming out of reality. Some of the reality is funny. Some of the
Mm.
reality is scary. Some of the reality is dangerous. Some of it, but it's sort of the gift that keeps giving, because you have probably a Bible stack of stories to draw from. So you can just go in and grab this and grab that and then mix it up, and oh, here's a lighter one, here's a lighter moment, here's an interesting character. So I think that's how it's so beautifully blended, because we're using real stories.
Last question. As of going back to the director, is there a specific episode that you're proud of that you can't wait for the viewers to watch?
Well, obviously the pilot,
Okay.
because that just establishes the
Yeah.
world right away. Monica Raymond, who was on Chicago Fire, came in, and I thought, she's in the opening scene, and I love what she brought to it. But yeah, I'm excited about the whole show.
Right.
And uh, I just, really respect what we're going for. But yeah, the pilot, because that's the first one. That's hey, welcome to the world,
Right.
and I've been honored to be the one to take you through this world, to establish this world and the rules and the characters and the vitality and the atmosphere, what Long Beach means, the culture, also all of this stuff. Uh, and we put it in a half hour and say, this is what this show is, and this is the camera style. And we put all of that in a half hour and say, thank you. There you go. And now come along and join us for the rest of the season. So yes, I'm very proud of the pilot. Yes.
Amazing. Eric, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes today. Prime Video, Jittery Night, Down Call. Thank you. This was great.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I
Appreciate it.